Please describe your job title and primary duties.
At Kids Foot Locker, for 6 years, I was mostly a sales associate. For about a year and a half, I was a shift supervisor and assistant manager over Kids Foot Locker and Foot Locker in Lakeland, Florida. As a sales associate, I worked mostly part-time, mostly on the weekends, high traffic days, so Friday through Sunday. I also usually did paperwork on Wednesdays when the managers were doing meetings or on phone call meetings. Most of it is making sure the wall's full and tagged, making sure everything's fronted. Usually I took in stock, so I did all the stock check-in and then put that up in the back for the stock room. And then other than that, just customer service overall.
How would you describe the application and interview process?
I put an application, when did I start? Like 03 or 04, I think it was. And I had been looking for a job for a little bit of time, moving into the area of Lakeland. I lived in Plant City. And luckily I had a friend that worked there, and so he was able to get me an interview. And over my time, I feel like, as unfair as it seems, it's one of those jobs that it's kind of who you know prior to that, that can kind of get you a foot in the door. Or if you're a customer that's like really well known, like you're in there a lot, sometimes if you have the knowledge, you can get put in there and get an interview. But basically they asked me, how I'd approach sales, what expertise I had prior, what knowledge of product I had as far as what's carried in the store, and then, availability and kind of general information on what your duties are going to be.
What should an applicant wear to the job interview?
To my interview, I wore black slacks and like a button-up polo. I didn't own dress shoes at the time, so I just wore like black sneakers. But normally I'd recommend something to that effect, and then if you have some type of nice casual like white or black sneaker, you should probably get away with it.
What set you apart from other candidates?
I think a lot of it had to do with my personality at the time. I really wanted the job. I had been collecting sneakers for like 6 or 7 years. I've been collecting sneakers since I was like 16. So my product knowledge was there. My foothold in the footwear hobby was already there, and so it was easier for me, I think, to transition into that. So that knowledge came in handy when trying to make a sale to somebody or inform a customer about the products they were trying to buy. I think that's the most probably important part about that job, is knowing what you're selling.
How were you notified that you received the job?
Actually, Jose told me like that day. Like it was right then. He interviewed me. He was impressed with my knowledge of the product. They kind of run you through a faux sales scenario, and from there, he told me I had the job. So it was like right away. I don't know what it's like now, but I know I was like, well, can you come in this day? So I was like, oh yeah, cool, all right.
What other advice would you give to a job seeker looking to gain employment?
Anywhere in Foot Locker Inc., I would say, and specifically kids, you're going to have to be good with kids because that's really the customer you're dealing with. You're dealing with them and mothers primarily. So you're going to have to be personable. I think knowledge of the product is going to be a huge upside, and that goes for any demographic, because normally you're going to be asked to switch in between the divisions. So knowing every product, kids, women's, men's, it's probably like your best foot in the door.